Good morning, everybody. Mike here, doing an old school kind of vlog today, just getting in the car and driving, talking about some of the reasons why I'm going to be selling my Hellcat relatively soon. It took a lot of people by surprise, which I can understand. You know, I got like 7 comments that were like, "You just got the Hellcat, what are you talking about?" Which, you know, I can understand that because I pretty much did just buy the Hellcat not that long ago, although now it's been over 3 months. Not that that's a long time to keep a car, but I guess it's true what they say. Yeah, time does fly when you're having fun. And fun is one thing that is not in short supply in a Hellcat. Yeah, the Hellcat has never ever once failed to put a massive smile on my face, and that's one thing, you know, that I definitely will miss about this car and the supercharger line. But that's one other thing I wanted to talk about today, was just how much I really have grown to like this car, because, you know, it's not really my thing necessarily. You know, I love horsepower. I mean, who doesn't love horsepower? But, you know, just having a ton of horsepower isn't really my thing. The whole muscle car thing, I love all cars, and I will appreciate anything that's fun and interesting. But, you know, like the old GT500 came out, thought it was an awesome car, no doubt about it, but wasn't really something that I would ever look at for myself. Truth be told, you know, one of the reasons why I even looked at a Hellcat in the first place was because so many people suggested it. You know, when I made a video about, you know, potentially getting a new car, it was the #1 suggestion. And of course, I didn't just buy it just because of that. I also thought it was going to be really cool, which it ended up being. But, you know, that kind of took me by surprise. You know, so many people were interested in seeing this and seeing kind of the ownership experience, the, you know, fairly often almost daily vlogs with the car and everything about the car. So, yeah, it's one of the reasons why I decided to try it out. And I have to say, even though it's not really my thing, because I much prefer, in general, the smaller sports car type thing. Of course, I love big power, like the Corvette, you know, still had a lot of power as well, but smaller, lighter, more of a sports car, something like that. Maybe even something smaller still, like an Alpha 4C, Cayman GT4, whatever. You know, anything like a small sports car is something that, in general, I like a little bit more. But I did fall in love with the Hellcat over time, and I mean, seriously, I fell in love with this car. Genuinely, absolutely have grown to love it, and I mean, I have almost 5,000 miles on it. As I go to sell it, that's probably, I'm going to try to keep it as low as possible, but I've just been driving it because I love it, and I enjoy it all the time. And like I said, you know, in some of the other videos, I drive it so much more because I don't really worry about it when it's parked somewhere. It doesn't draw a lot of attention to itself, and I like that about it, you know. I really do, and do you miss kind of the flashiness of something like a Corvette, or if I were to buy something like a Lamborghini, somebody who drives something like that every day? You know, I'm sure it's fun a lot of the time, but I'm sure that most of the time that you're really worried about it. And you know, as you drive a car, of course, you always kind of are like that at first, and then over time you get used to it. But you know, a car like that, I feel like every day I would just be so worried about parking my Lamborghini somewhere. Whereas this, because it blends in, I take it all the time, and I don't have to worry about it. And because of that, because you don't have to worry about it, it makes the driving experience that much more fun. Just the fact that there's not a whole lot of stress associated with it. You just kind of get in it and go. And it's a great daily driver. And honestly, I'm not a Dodge guy really at all. For the most part, I don't really like a lot of Dodge products, not because it's a Dodge, just because they create stuff that doesn't really appeal to me. But I have to say, you know, this thing's been great. I mean, I love the Uconnect system that they use in this. It's been great. Everything's flawless in the car, you know, besides like 1 or 2 minor issues. You know, and very minor, and I say issues, but like the only thing that bothers me is that the leather on the seat hasn't worn that great. It has like some wrinkles in it, which, you know, I don't know, it's just a softer leather, maybe it's supposed to look like that, so I don't even know. And then there's like a couple of little paint imperfections, but it's a $60,000 Dodge Challenger, so you get that stuff. And so, and I hesitate to even call those issues, just because it's like 2 little imperfections with the car, and that's it. So, you know, it's been an absolutely awesome experience, and I've grown to love it, love driving it and everything like that, and I'm definitely, seriously going to be sad to see it go. So if I love it that much and everything, then why am I selling it? Well, it's purely because of financial reasons, and that's really it. It's not because I want to sell it really even right now. I would be very happy to continue driving this car around. I mean, who wouldn't? This thing is, like I said, the thing is just so much fun in every way. It just always puts it, it's not the greatest at handling, you know, it sucks gas like a hog, of course it does, and everything else, but it never fails to put a smile on your face. And I think that that's what a car like this is all about, and the Hellcat is the king of smiles. It really is. I mean, if you drive this car and you're miserable, then there's nothing in this world that's going to help you. But you know, strictly for financial reasons, because the market for these is really strong right now. I think if I were to sell this car, just based on some of the ones that I've seen selling, I've been checking, you know, every week or so on Auto Trader, as well as a couple on Craigslist. There's not that many, and eBay, things like that. You know, the market's really strong, and these are selling. I saw an identical one to mine, same everything, same options, with 6,000 miles, so a little bit higher mileage than this, and it sold for 64 grand, like exactly 64 on eBay, or it was like a little bit, it was like 64,200 bucks on eBay, which would actually mean that I would break straight even on the car. So that would be fine to get a car like this, drive it around for, by that time it'll probably be 4 or 5 months, and then break even on it. I'll take it. You know, I'm happy with it. I think it might be a Terminator. No, it's just a Terminator bumper. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway, so it's one of those things where it's just for financial reasons, because I really believe that with Dodge doubling production of this car for the 2016 model year, I really think the market's going to go down for these. Now, normally you buy a car like this, you don't worry about depreciation, and you know, if I were to keep this for a long time, I wouldn't sell it just to, you know, save my money and everything. But because this car was always going to be, you know, I don't know what you call it, like to bridge the gap, because this car was always, I was never going to keep this car super long term anyway. I might as well do it when I can get the most money for it as possible. If I, like I said, if I was going to keep this thing forever and I knew that, I wouldn't worry about selling it at all, because I'm enjoying driving it. But because the goal was always to move into something else and to get this in the meantime, I might as well do it now rather than later. With that all being said, I probably will be putting this car on the market really soon, and whatever that means for me on the market, you know, whether I try to sell it completely by myself or maybe through some type of consignment, I don't know yet. I have to do my research. I've never sold a car that was actually worth anything. The previous sale for the most money I've ever had as far as a car is concerned is a $2,500 pickup truck. So this is totally new territory for me, and I'm definitely going to have to do my research, but it should be a fun experience, and of course I'm going to document the whole thing and see how it goes. So it's all about just putting myself in the best possible financial situation for the next car, and I got a lot to deal with as far as finances right now. The new car coming at some point soon, and then the truck. So, you know, a lot going on right now, but it should be really fun, and I'm obviously looking forward to it. You know, 2 new vehicles, and it's going to be awesome, and who knows what the next car is going to be. So that's basically just why I decided to sell the Hellcat sooner rather than later. And, you know, it's no bad mark on the car whatsoever. Like I said, you know, throughout the video, it's been awesome, and it's just time to move on to something different. So that's pretty much it. One more thing just to kind of close out the video, because I know for anybody who's been following the Hellcat ownership for a while, you'll know that when I traded in my previous car, I financed the difference, which was like about $9,000 for this car. So it is paid off now and ready to be sold, title in hand and all that good stuff. So everything else is squared away as far as getting this car sold. Just got to actually do the selling now, which I'm sure is going to be the hardest part. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Always appreciate it. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe. Take care. Have a great day. Cannot resist this.